Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about From Season 4, Episode 8. So, we only have 2 more episodes this season, and I hate to say this again, but not much of anything happened in this episode. We did get some slight development in certain aspects of characters' lives, but that's about it. Once again, it's more mystery and more unanswered questions. As I'm on threads and everything, I'm constantly seeing people complain about From Season 4. People are fed up. It's a great show, but this fourth season has just failed in every way possible. I think season 2 peaked, and it peaked too hard to where they weren't able to recover from that. And so, with the huge revelations we got in season 3 at the ending and everything, you think more stuff would happen, especially with Tabitha. But it hasn't. Tabitha hasn't really done nothing this entire season but complain and try to keep her kids safe. To where she's becoming a little annoying and everything. But I get it. She just wants to keep her kids safe. Her husband just died and she just found out she's been reincarnated for probably over 100 years. Jade had a huge discovery, but how do we know what he saw in the hallucination is the truth? You know what I'm saying? We need answers. And with 2 episodes left, they need to give it to us. Now, don't get me wrong. Every season does this, where it's really juicy in the beginning, and then it kind of goes into the interpersonal relationships of the characters in the middle. But it's always engaging. It's always edgy. This one has just been kind of weak. Not only that, but the man in yellow, aka Sophia, or Sophie, whatever her name is, she's been doing things, but not one person has figured out who she is yet. And not only that, she's been tormenting people here and there, but not like she did back when the man in yellow was off screen. And you think there would have been more with her, you know what I'm saying? I mean, she's now observing everybody she's kept trapped there. And the only people she really are tormenting is like poor Henry. I don't think Henry's gonna make it to season 5. Either him or Victor is gonna get it. I got that feeling. Now, there are 3 characters, main characters that were missing. Randall, Julie, and Elgin. And that's because they brought in 3 people, for and they couldn't spread the budget. They brought back the hallucination of Father Kadri, Boyd's wife, and the man in the yellow jacket, which we did find out a little bit more about him at the very end. Just a little bit, but not enough. Victor said the man in yellow came into town just like everybody else. But you know what? I don't think he's human. I just don't. Yes, the people that turn into monsters, they used to be human. But I just get this kind of feeling that he is not. Or he's been possessed by some type of demonic thing. Some type of demonic godlike being or something. But I just have a feeling he might not be entirely human and stuff. But if he is, they really gotta do some more explaining. Because it's just like, how did he come to be who he is? Think about it. He came into town like everybody else. Well, that's the same thing Sophie did. She came into town just like everybody else with the pastor. That don't mean she's human, technically him and everything, And he could just be some type of demon, alien, like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Who just takes on human form. Because we know he can shapeshift. But if he is human, why does he have such an attachment to his yellow jacket and clothes? So if he is human, there were hints in this episode that does show his humanity. He's very attached to his yellow jacket. Not only that, but he said that Tabitha is the closest thing he's ever had to a friend. So he's not going to kill her right away. But he's killed her in the past. He's playing tricks and we don't know what is what. Now the whole yellow jacket thing, that just could be because he had to transform back into his face, his body and everything. And he couldn't just take random clothes that people have worn in town because then people will know, oh, he is there undercover. But let's get into some character bios of what some characters did. Some are very fascinating and others, you know what? Everybody who didn't do nothing important, I'm just going to say right now, Officer Acosta, dude, what is going on with her this season? Is she filming a movie or something? Do they not have the budget to have her on the show long enough? She's just there. Literally just there. And like, you know, because after that man turned into that doll, she's examining the body, just looking at it with everybody else, and they're all like, oh, Elgin killed him. And boy, like, Elgin? But Elgin's not even in this episode, but they mention him. And that's all she does. She don't do nothing else. She don't interact with nobody. She's not looking for clues. She has to be filming something else. I'm gonna go look on her IMDb. She has to be filming something else. There's no other explanation. Also, somebody who didn't do much of anything, the bus driver. Go figure. Donna, she didn't do much of anything in this episode either. Kenny's just standing around listening to everybody else. I feel so bad for Kenny to see why are they not using this dude? Everybody loves Kenny and everything. I just don't get it. I just really don't get it. So everybody else, for the most part, has had something to do. So let's get into them. Alright, so I'll get into Chrissy and Marisol. I think that's her name. I'm not sure. The girlfriend. Basically, they're having a bit of a riff. And the reason for that is because Fatima, told everybody what happened. And Fatima now has these veins growing on her stomach. So Marisol, I think that's her name, I'm not sure, said that maybe this is a good thing. If you can see and feel what that monster is feeling, we can probably use that as a defense. Now, Elias does not like that at all. And he's pissed because, he's like, this could be something dangerous. And Fatima's all like, am I going to turn into one of those monster people? So they're planting that seed in our head right now. This causes Chrissy to get pissy at her girlfriend. And all like, look, this woman has been through a lot. And you're just making things worse by wanting her to experience this crap more. And this is my patient and you won't do that. Well, they have another conversation and she says something and then Chris is all like, let me take you outside so I can have a private conversation with you. So I'm assuming she's going to grill her girlfriend, right? No. She makes a startling revelation. She said that Fatima only has 19 beats per minute, like heartbeats and stuff. She's checked her vitals over and over. Technically, Fatima shouldn't even be alive. So let's get into Fatima. So Fatima basically tells everybody, what happened. She was able to make that monster stop. Then she shows the railroad tracks on her stomach. And since Chris is all like, look, if we was outside of town, I would say those were, what are those, vertigo? No, not vertigo, but varicose veins or something like that be on people's legs. But she's all like, yo, but we in this place. This could be anything. So Fatima is worried that she might be turning into one of those monster people. And like I said before, they planted the seeds in our heads that could this possibly be how those people turn into like monsters? I doubt it because like that means somebody in the past would have to give birth to one of those things and somebody would have said something. So I don't necessarily think that she's turning into a monster. What I think is that since her and Smiley are bonded, she's now taking on characteristics of the monster people. Like the veins. That's how their veins look in their faces when they turn into monsters. The fact that she shouldn't even be alive, those people, they have organs but no bodily fluid in their bodies. She's basically a walking corpse and everything. So it's gonna be fascinating to see where this is gonna go. Oh, and her and Elias bicker a little bit because he's worried and she doesn't want him to be worried and all this other stuff. He hasn't done much since season 2, I don't think. Ethan and Victor. So Tabitha is not happy about last week with Victor telling, Ethan he's gonna be there alone. So she literally confronts Victor and be like, tell him the truth and tell him that you lied, that this is not gonna happen, and blah 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 blah. But Ethan's all like, no, I want to prepare myself and everything. So Victor teaches him how he survived for 40 years alone. So he takes him out to like that truck, that delivery truck thing, that storage unit truck. Well, I forget what it's called, right? But he, and Victor, you gotta love Victor, man. I mean, you just got to, you know what I'm saying? They really could have made him into a creepy, weird old man, which he kind of was a little bit in the first season. But when you understand why he is how he is, you gotta just love this dude, And because he has such an innocence to him, a childlike innocence, and he's all like, I used to eat like, peaches and everything, canned peaches. And this was before we had like the milks and the animals and stuff. And he just survived off peaches. But he also said that he was forced to eat like leaves outside and bugs. Ooh. I'm telling you, man, they need to make a Victor prequel before that actor gets too old, the young actor and everything. It doesn't even have to be multiple seasons. Let it be a one and done thing and let it be traumatic or a TV movie or something. And he's literally telling, Ethan, like, I had nobody to talk to. I had to make up, like, people. Like, I'll have, like, a rock. And I'll give that rock a name and I'll start talking to him. But he tells Ethan, hey, look, you're not going to be this way. I've made pretend people for you out of, like, stuffed animals and everything. And it's just like, aww. You know what I'm saying? Like, poor dude. But you know what I don't understand? These monsters have the ability to, okay, they're people, you know what I'm saying? They know how to open doors and stuff. They seem to always know where people are at night. I don't know how, but they do. So how did they not know Victor was hiding out in that place for 40 years? Why didn't they just open the door to the thing? There were no talismans back then. More unanswered questions. I don't think we're ever going to get the answers to them. And then he starts, getting very sentimental and everything about his sister, and, his mother and everything. And, because Tabitha's getting pissed again, and he's all like, "No, this is what my mom said," and blah 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 blah. But then she's all like, "You know what, Victor? I don't think I just came back for like my kid. I think I also came back for you and everything, and to rescue you and blah 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 blah, and and all that weird crap." And just more weirdness, you know what I'm saying? And so like I said before, I don't think Victor is gonna make it. I mean, he's showing Ethan how to survive. He talked about how he was there alone. He's been there for 40 years. Because we gotta get into Henry. As we all know, that the man in the yellow jacket poisoned that of Henry with his blood. And so Henry's having hallucinations that he's in the hospital. The nurse is telling him that, hey, look, man, you have been dreaming for the longest time. That's what Dream Victor told me. Like, look, man, mom brought you them drugs, you tripped on that stuff, and you just been out of it and everything. The nurse is all like, hey, look, you're in a dream. You're not in that town, but you are anchored there. You have to get rid of what is keeping you there. You have to get rid of the anchor. And we literally see Henry have a beautiful monologue as he's just like having a nervous breakdown. You don't give this kind of performance if you plan on sticking around. And the fact that the hallucination is telling him you have to get rid of the anchor so you can move on and wake up. That means only one thing. Somebody's got to die. So either Henry's going to kill himself or he's going to kill Victor. Because think about it. The only attachment he has to that town is his son. His son, who he has not seen in over 40 years. And if that's what keep it, because think about it. Henry could have offed himself at any point in time if he wanted to, but then he found out his son is there, and he's been there just staying there loving his son. It would be sad to see Henry kill himself, but for dramatic sakes of a television show, I think he's gonna off Victor. I just got that feeling. I just got that feeling. Jade is still building his model and trying to figure out how to get into the caves. Him and Boyd are constantly arguing with one another because Boyd thinks it's a dumb plan. Boyd tells him, back in the military, you do not have a second exit. If we go down in those tunnels and there's only one entrance, the monsters could block us off and then a bunch of people down there are trapped. So he tells him, use your genius brain and figure a second exit. So after getting pissed and tossing stuff around, he remembers there's a skylight in that chamber. His idea now is to have the people go down there, dig up the bones, but one of the bottle trees is covering the skylight area. So while they're digging up bones, somebody else is going to be digging up that tree and move the tree, then throw a rope down and pull people up. On with Boyd, that's too risky of a plan because one, it's going to take a lot of muscle to move that tree. Two, it's going to take even more muscle to pull a bunch of heavy people up, and those monsters could come out at any point in time. It's just too risky, but you can tell they're building up because they're gonna attempt it and something's gonna go wrong. And let's not forget, Jade said that, his younger version told him every time you try to, I think, either rescue the kids or something, like the town people, they get mad at you and they kill you. This is Jade's plan to send all those people in the tunnels. somebody's gonna get hurt, somebody's gonna die, and they're gonna take it out on Jade. Boyd is basically still having hallucinations of his wife, and he finally tells Chrissy the truth that he's still starting to see her. And, like, he's hearing gunshots and he's now hallucinating, seeing a bunch of dead people with bullet wounds in them. This place is really trying its best to break him. And no matter what it does, they always manage to, only for him to snap out of it. But this is his dead wife. A dead wife he was forced to kill because she was going to kill their son. Father Kadri is talking to him and basically tells him, you have got to let her go. You did what you had to do to save, like, your son and everything. And, it's always interesting, the Father Kadri, like, hallucination. Why always him? I know those two were slightly close and everything. It's almost like that's his conscience or something. Sophia, aka the man in the yellow jacket. So she's basically just like thrilled and everything about what she did last week. And she says something to somebody, and they're like, wait, what you say? Almost like they caught her knowing something she should not have known. And so, like, we see her. And this is what doesn't make sense. What exactly is his power? When Jim started building that tower with Jade and everything and got on the radio, he was able to communicate with Jim. And he knew that Tabitha was digging that hole down in their, like, home and everything, trying to figure out where the cord goes to. So he has the ability to sense where people are. Yet when he went into Boyd's, like, office and everything, he kept asking, "Are you there? Are you there?" to make sure nobody's there. But shouldn't he have the wherewithal to sense if somebody is there or not? But anyway, he starts trashing the place because he's looking for something. Then we see him / her go back to Sarah's place, and Sarah is pissed. All like, well, where were you last night? You had me worried. Well, of course, she was at Colony House. And she's all like, look, I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep and everything. But Sarah is just adamant about, we have to keep each other safe. But she's trying to make every excuse she can just to get away from Sarah and just go to sleep. What did she steal and put in the book bag? Well, it's her yellow jacket. Something, for whatever reason, she/he has an attachment to. Then she went then she looked at Victor and everything, but then she went inside Tabitha's house and she started seeing all the drawings that Ethan is drawing, especially the one of, I think, like him or something like that, right? So, no, is that an Ethan drawings or is Victor's drawing? I can't remember which one. But either way, when Tabitha was home, she gets a phone call. And it's from their dead unborn son. Was he unborn or was he not? I can't remember. I think his name was Tim. And so it's all like, meet me by the RV or I'll hurt Ethan and Julie. And so Tabitha goes there alone and she's greeted by the man in the yellow jacket. Now, the actress could have pulled it off a little bit more better being frightened, but she didn't. And the man in the yellow jacket is just smiling down, happy to see her and everything. And he tells her, you know what, that spot you're standing in is where your husband died and everything. And basically, like, wraps his hand around her neck and she's all like, are you gonna kill me? He's all like, no, like, you're one of my favorite people. But then he also says Jim was one of his favorite people and he kept one of Jim's teeth. Still won't explain the whole teeth thing, but whatever. And he said, like, Tabitha all these years has been the closest thing he's ever had to a friend. He ain't gonna kill her right now, but he is at some point. And that, like, I think, what was it? He tells her, y'all think digging up those bones is gonna like save y'all and everything and get y'all out here. But how do you know you're not about to like uncover something monstrous and everything? Playing mind games with her, trying to make them not dig up them bones. Because I think that is the key to getting out of there, or the key to releasing something, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe he really does just care about her and like doesn't want them to get hurt because of whatever this land has. So many questions, so many unanswered questions. We need answers and everything. And with these last two episodes, they need to hit that out the freaking park and everything. Because if not, ooh, fans are gonna be pissed and everything. Cause fans are already pissed. So yeah, that's basically what happens in this episode. Not a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? They really, 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 really gotta speed up the pace. We got 2 episodes and a full season left. And so far, it has just been slow and dismal and just kind of lackluster. I don't understand how, after those huge revelations in season 3, they're not doing much. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.